Are we live? We are live. Gary Sanchez, good evening.
Good evening, Ridgely. How's everything in Florida?
Everything in Florida is great, man. This is exciting. Drawing to a close, our first experience with the Wealthy Visionaries, hopefully a first of very many.
It's a great group, man. Marsha's put together a wonderful group of people.
Well, I'm excited to be working with all of the tremendous folks, and also we will be talking a little bit later in the broadcast about the unbelievable phenomenon that is happening with this why craziness. I looked, Gary, I literally twice today had to send out emails saying these are the following days that I have left, and between September, October, November, and December, because of so many speaking engagements to talk about the why, I have 3 days left. Three.
Reserve them for me.
Yeah, 4 months, man. 3 and 4 months. That is the craziest thing ever in life. And I got inquiries from New York City today, and from what was the other one that came in today? New York City and Houston. And I had to send emails saying, okay, well, these are the 3 days I have left. That's it. So,
well, heck, I rarely get to talk to you.
Dude, I mean, it is the craziest thing ever. All over the world, people want to know about their why. They want to know about why discovery. And, of course, we're going to talk about this in more detail a little bit later on. But what that also means is that we need a lot of coaches. Yeah, we need to certify some coaches, Gary. I'm telling you, man, this thing is going a little bit too nuts, and you know, just to give everybody a little a sense of what it feels like. Just this afternoon, in the last 3 hours, I sold 2 more workshops to large corporations that need a coach. What are we doing tonight? Talking to Wealthy Visionaries. Gary, what are we doing tomorrow night? Oh yeah, a workshop for Australia. What are we doing on the next night? Oh yeah, a workshop for Australia, because the demand is so ridiculous. So, anyway, it's very fun, and I'm glad to be hanging out with the Wealthy Visionaries, our call number 8, and I'm sure that some of us are going to be together for a very long time. So, Gary, what do you think about all this? Hey, you know, we've been through this whole process with these guys. What do you think?
Well, I think it's been a huge learning process, and I think it's been awesome to see everybody utilizing the why engine. It was fun to see them find out, discover their own why, and have that clarity that comes with it. And then I love the energy that I've heard from everybody as far as wanting to bring this to their clients and actually wanting to help us with our clients. So I think it's just been tremendously exciting, and I can't wait to help people keep moving forward, help them get their why messaging today, and then see which ones want to work with us, because we need help. Please, whoever's out there, help us.
Yeah. This is Ridgely right here. This is Ridgely telling you that Ridgely does not want to do all these workshops that you people out there in the world should be doing, helping, because I'm doing like way too many workshops. Way too many. So, anyway, we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But first, we got some why work to do. Hopefully there's some folks that want to talk about their why, their messaging, or frankly, I feel like, Gary, and I know I haven't run this by you, so I'm just going to lay it on you anyway, that we should really open it up for anybody to ask any question they want regarding a why as we wrap up this first phase of our time together. Anything at all. Fair game, people. Anything you want to know about anything concerning your why. I also have a very special possibility that we're going to unveil in about a half an hour for you, and then I do have this. I will leak this piece of information. The first official Y certification weekend will be the 17th through the 20th of July in Denver, Colorado. 17, it'll start the evening of the 17th, all day Friday, all day Saturday, most of the day Sunday. That will be the first official Y coaching certification program for the pioneers of this movement. And like I said, I cannot wait to work with you. If I'm completely honest, I cannot wait to dump some of these workshops on you. Thank you very much in advance for taking up some of the load. So, all right. So, Gary, we've been we've been going through this now for 8 weeks, and we've helped a lot of people figure out their messaging. What do you think is the most powerful expression of a why message, the most powerful format that they could use for a why message?
Well, for sure, let's say you were writing a resume, and what most people do is just write on the resume the things that they've done. I went to this school, I graduated from this high school, this college, this program after that. These are the jobs I've had, these are the things I've done. Very, not very inspiring at all. You see that every time. I just hired somebody new for my practice, so I got tons of resumes, and every one of them was that same format. Somebody out there is teaching them this format, and it's completely useless, because what it does is it lays all the work on me to try to figure out who this person really is. So when they follow the format that we've been talking about, which is starting with your why, then talking about your how, and lastly what you do, that connects to my limbic brain. It talks to me in a way that I can hear it, and what they do then makes sense. So start with your why, then your how, and then your what. Just like we've been teaching, just like everybody's been doing on the form that we gave you. Unfortunately, I wasn't on the call last week, so I didn't get to hear a lot of them. But what do you think, Ridge? Isn't that for sure the most powerful way to articulate your message, your personal brand, your personal message?
I 100% think so, and we did a bunch of that last week. And if you were going to put it in some kind of a delivery mechanism, what do you think would be the best delivery mechanism to deliver that?
For sure, 100% video. Because if you say your why, you articulate your why message, it's authentic. The real important word tonight, I think, Ridgely, is authentic. Because it comes from who you really are. It doesn't come from what some marketing guru came up with. It comes from who you really are, so that when you talk about who you are and what you believe and how you do it and what you do, it's authentic, it's real, it feels right. People will connect to that versus some slogan that some marketing guy came up with. Don't you think?
That's exactly what I think. I think that there is nothing more powerful than a video. And
your why message is your homepage video script.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
don't you think? Sure. It's a simple, easy way to create your video script so that when you film yourself telling your message, talking about your why message, it's going to resonate with the right people, people that get you, people that you want to build your business around, people that make it fun, people that appreciate you. That's the power. That's the excitement. In my practice, it has been phenomenal. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's out of control right now. I need to bring in another dentist. I need to bring one in so I can get out. I'm trying to get out.
Well, we need you to get out because the world, we needed the why thing, man. But this is a lot bigger. One of the things that I think that has been proved to be unbelievably true in my work is literally being able to speak to top-level CEOs and tell them, look, what you're doing is the same as everybody else. It's not really working, and have them in one phone call agree to a pretty seriously expensive process with us. And I mean, I had two of them happen in the last 4 hours. Whereas you get on the phone, and I didn't time the first one, I was not paying attention, but the second one was 18 minutes from start of conversation to, yes, I want you to do this for my company. 18 minutes. That's all it took. And they get it. The people get it all over the place. It's really an amazing situation.
You know, Ridge, I'm looking at some of the, and I'm sure Fede is doing the same thing, I'm looking at some of the comments that are posted right now, because Ridgely doesn't have access to, we only give him limited access.
Ridgely's technologically challenged. That's also called lame.
He doesn't have access to the comments that you all are posting. So Lori and Kat and Terry and Missy and Gary, I see that you all are going to be at a Marcia Wieder event in Monterey that same weekend.
Ah, But you know what? That's really good feedback for us to know, because the only people that we released that date to was you guys.
Yes.
So if and since we really need coaches, I might change the date. Sorry, but that's the way it is, Gary. We've got to have more coaches, bro. I mean, this is not a maybe situation. This is like a right now, very real. Somebody needs to be doing all these jobs, not me or you. You can only do so many. So thank you for the feedback. I will share with everybody. I cannot promise that we can change these dates. I can promise that it's very important for us to find the right people to be a part of this team, and we will look at the schedule to see if there's a way to change the dates. Unfortunately, our collective travel schedules are so ferocious that to find the right dates for us in and of itself was already very hard. So we'll do our best.
Sounds like everybody that's on this call is going to, or most everybody is going to be at that event in Monterey.
Well, I would say congratulations, first of all. I mean, hanging out with Marcia to kick off the Meaning Institute is fantastic. So congratulations to everybody that's doing that. We will take a look at the date and see if it is at all shiftable. If it is going to be shifted, it'll be shifted probably by only a week, though, just to let everybody know. It'll be the week before or the week after. So anybody want to comment on that, by the way, while you're commenting on all the comments that I can't see?
Amy says, I'll arrange my schedule to be there whenever you schedule it. The sooner the better. We think the sooner the better, too.
Yeah,
It's
so
going to be in Florida and then Europe, and it's just nothing coming up.
yeah, no, we could potentially look at either the weekend after or the weekend before. I think those are the only three. The middle of July is the only time that it's going to work for us. I'm pretty sure. So, because everybody's gone all over creation. So, okay, we'll take a look.
Real quickly, what does everybody think about the weekend before that, the 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th? I can't do the weekend after, but I could do the weekend before.
And I could come straight from Boston. I'm going to be in Boston speaking 2 or 3 times that week. I could potentially make that work. I'd be late. You'd have to start without me, then I'll be there. So, okay. Well, let's see what everybody says about that.
Pat and Lori, so that's great. So we're getting some feedback that weekend will work.
Okay. Well, we'll look at that as a possibility, and I will look at flying in to Denver myself straight from Boston.
The key to all this is we've got to get everybody up to speed because we already have the client. We've already got the paying client who's ready to go. We just don't have enough people to service them. So we've got to make sure we have quality people that have been certified, have been through the process, and we're comfortable with it because, again, it's our reputation as well. We got to make sure it's a great product for everybody. So that weekend would work. Is there a possibility to do it virtually? I don't see virtually working. Do you, Rich? Because you got to be.
We'd have to. The only way to do something like that would be with some kind of a live stream, and we'd have to see what that really looks like. I think it's pretty hard, though, frankly.
But we want to have people leading parts of it.
Yeah. No, and yeah, and the other challenge for everybody on this call is that the speaking circuit that Gary and I are on is almost exclusively Top Gun CEOs. And, I mean, EOers, for example, the EO organization that I'm speaking to about 40 times in the next 5 months, average revenue per company, $60 million, average number of employees, 230. These are big companies, and we have to know that the people that are representing us are really good, really good. I see a dog there.
Lucy.
Oh, nice. You just wanted to introduce Lucy to everybody, didn't you, Gary? You just had to do that.
Oh, Lucy loves to clean the back of your ears.
Oh.
One of those dogs.
Oh, yeah.
So, Fede, do we have, I think we're missing Fede there, but I would love to help people with their messaging. Are you there, Fede?
I'm hearing you, yeah, I'm here. Let's see. I've done a handful of invitations on the comments section. So let's just make the announcement here. If you want to go up and just share your ideas and thoughts and experiences or questions about your why, messaging, etc., with Gary and Ridgely, just click on the link placed in the comments section.
Yep. Schedule shift. 1 week.
Oh, I see. Okay, there it is. This is your chance. Let's work on it together. If you want to finalize some of your messaging, if you want to try it out on anybody,
Coaching.
come on, and we'd love to work with you.
All right. Okay. Otherwise, we're going to discuss some other issues. All right. While we're waiting, want to ask everybody to please take a survey. So, Fede, how do we make the survey link available to everybody? I know we can follow up with an email sending that out.
Here we go.
You pop it in there somehow?
Yep, I'm popping it in there just as you are speaking. It's posted right now.
Awesome. So please, if you can, take just a couple of minutes to fill out the survey. Obviously, we are always looking to be better. Our why as an organization is to find a better way, and part of the way that we do that is with your help and support. So thank you in advance. Please do complete the survey. Fede, please make sure we send it out via email to everybody tomorrow.
I certainly will do that, yes. And Gary says here that he would love to be on, however, he's on a laptop and no video cam. No worries, Gary. We'll catch up at another point.
For sure. Okay.
Oh, I see.
Let's do a couple things here, Gary. Let's provide a lot of value for the people that are out there and talk about the future and the vision of where we see this going, what it means. Obviously, I think a lot of the people that are on this call are interested in possibly going on this journey with us. So why don't you share your vision first, and then I'll share my vision and where we think we're going and where we think we can be going with some of the fabulous folks on this call. What do you see the future looking like?
Well, obviously, what we are offering, it's fun to have something that people are desperately looking for, not only personally, but also professionally and with their business. And so I see us growing so exponentially that, again, we need a lot of help, but we're going to move first into the corporate world. Because we'll
be going with some of the fabulous folks on this call. Yeah. If you just joined the call, please do me a favor and mute yourself out.
We are offering.
I'll start doing this too, Ridge, from here.
Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, I was saying we're gonna move into the corporate world because we have we have all of these speaking engagements set up for the rest of the year to CEOs they are our ideal client. They are people that are desperately looking to differentiate themselves, desperately looking to create the right culture, desperately looking to have the right words to say to build their culture and their marketing, and we have that technology available to them. So obviously we're going to be working first in the corporate world. Secondly, I see us working in the education world. This is something that's kind of near and dear to my heart, is that I have two daughters. I have two teenage daughters. And when we talk about them making choices and them making decisions in their lives, the ability to, when my daughter graduated from high school last summer, I had a whole group of her friends here. And they didn't really know what I did as far as the why. And so my daughter was telling them about it, and so they wanted, obviously, to discover their why. So I sat around for a couple of hours and did the whys of these high school kids. And when we were done, what every one of them said was, why didn't I know this before I got to high school? The decisions I made, I would have made such different decisions. I would have I would have made better choices. I would have picked the right school. I would have picked the right boyfriends and girlfriends had I understood how I think, had I understood that I had a gift. And so we're already putting together a group to work with DECA kids. So we're going to move into that area as well, so we can coach kids who are looking to excel. We want to work with seekers in every area, and high school, college kids are going to be one of the next areas that I really want to get into as well. Rizzy, what are you seeing? I know that's kind of near and dear to you as well.
No, for sure. I mean, we have lots of contacts in the educational field, and to the extent that we can make that experience better for people, I think we can make a little dent into the universe. And I can tell you that, so I have to give you a quick experience to give everybody on the line a sense of how powerful this is. And then I promised Amy that we would work with her first. So I just want to remember that I've not forgotten since last week. And so I was on the line with a woman who is a very high-level consultant. This is a woman who was a full-bird colonel for a long time, worked with senators in the Pentagon for 20 years. And she was tasked with basically reorganizing a large company. This is a company that they collectively control approximately 50,000 apartment units. 50,000 apartment units. They have 400 employees, and her basic job was, you have to come in and sort us out because we don't have the right culture here. And as you can imagine, when the gentleman who brought her in told her, "Oh, I think you should work with the Y guys, and I want you to talk to this guy," you can only imagine the initial level of skepticism that we're talking about a high-level military performer who left the military as a top woman military person. So this is a no BS individual, and the initial skepticism of what she might think that the Y guys are going to be able to do for their organization, which is about 400 people that are property managers and whatever else. And so we had an initial conversation last week, Gary, and the conversation was pretty tense. It was kind of one of those conversations like, are you trying to come in on my turf? Who are you? What are you guys about? I know all this stuff already. I've been trained as a high-level consultant for a really long time. Da-da-da-da. So I made nice, and then I said, would you like me to discover your why? And we were running out of time. And she said, well, you know what? I can't do it now because I have another meeting, but I'm going on vacation next week, and that will be a perfect time for me to actually do this in a little bit quieter space. And I said, oh, really? Who are you going on vacation with? My husband. I said, would you like me to help you discover your husband's why as well? And she said, oh, that would be very fascinating. I think that's a good idea for me to get a better sense of how this works. And so I, at that point, had that knowing inner glow smile that comes when you know you've got them, because as soon as they go through the process, the game is over. And I just want to share that is exactly what happened. I spent an hour on the phone with she and her husband. Well, actually, that's not true. I spent 35 minutes with she and her husband discovering their why. And then I spent the other 25 minutes of having her tell me how important it was for their entire organization to know their why, and how she was going to get with the CEO immediately next Tuesday when she comes back to work, and then she was going to meet with the managing directors and make this happen. Wait. Not one workshop. A workshop in central headquarters in Kansas City, and regional workshops all around the country where their property was where they had enough concentration of property to bring people together, a series of them all over the country that she wanted us to do and participate in, that I know was going to go through because it was the CEO who recommended us in the first place and had her vet us. So to give a sense of the transformation that is happening, we're talking about a top gun, highly paid consultant who went from skeptical to, I want you guys to do this. You guys have to be my people. And this is happening to me every day. Every day that goes by, and this is before really going out there on the speaking circuit with the kind of request that I'm now having. So I just want to throw that out there as a kind of a, what do I think the vision is? I think the vision is literally being able to have an impact on the world through incredible partner coaches, and I really want to feel like our coaches are our partners, that can help us make an impact that we just can't do on our own because we can't scale at the rate of the jobs that are coming in. So that's what's going on. And if I were to say, what does the vision of the future look like, I would say it looks like that the Y movement is going to kind of be the most dominant movement in the coaching consulting world in the next couple of years, just like other movements have dominated in the past. That's what I think is going to happen. All
Perfect.
right,
Totally agree.
Amy, I promised. You're up. So where we left off last week, Gary, is we ran out of time. We went way over, and I promised Amy very graciously agreed to wait until this week for us to help create a Y message for her. So we'll start with Amy. I'll do this one, then I'll turn over the next one to you. And Amy, remind me again. I'm sorry. There's been so many Ys. Tell me, what is your Y again? I don't remember.
My why is to make a contribution and to help others.
Okay, perfect. That's what I thought it was, but I just want to check and not assume. So, again, what we're going to do here is we're going to talk about how you bring that to life, and then we're going to put that together in a message. And of course, this is being recorded, so you can have reference that. You can reference it later. So, tell me how you bring to life every day in your work. How do you do that? How do you live that wanting to help others and make a contribution? What do you do?
Well, I do it in multiple ways, but I'll talk about the executive search side of my life.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so every day, speaking with people, I'm recruiting people, I am doing interview preps with them, trying to teach them how to represent who they are in a way that is honest and it's in a lot of ways. It's helping people figure out who they are, so that they can represent who they are during an interview.
Well, tell me about in an honest. Tell me there was a thought there that I wanted to hear a little more about.
Okay. So basically, I have a model that's different for a job interview, right? And that is that I believe that a job interview is an opportunity for a person to grow and to learn about who they are. And that you're going, in the old way of doing job interviews, you go there and it's like, please, please, please hire me, right? But today, there's a very different model. And that model is there a fit? Is this truly what my life path is bringing me to? And is this going to be fulfilling for me, right? But most people don't know yet that there is this whole new way of thinking about and being with work. So a big part of what I love to do is to basically blow people's minds and have them learn who they are, and that the job interview is really about finding the right fit for them as well as for the corporation.
And so a job interview, when you say, I still wanted to hear, but what was the piece about the honest piece? There was something there. You were going through a thought about communicating honestly or something like that that I heard.
Yeah, I mean, for a lot of people, you know, a job interview, for instance, is just a BS, frankly. It's just BS. You know, they're doing what they have to do, what they think they have to do to get a job, right? It's not about being honest about who you are. It's about making an impression.
And so if you do that, the job interview becomes what?
The job interview becomes a journey. It becomes a way of finding out who you are. It's a process of discovery.
Okay, so, and the end result of that is?
Yes, go ahead.
And the end result of that, if you go through with it, is what? What do you get on the other side if you go through this process?
You discover who you are. You have a level of confidence that you would not have had. You know, so it's very similar to the example you gave of where you met that young woman on the airplane and you did her why.
Right, exactly.
Right? you walk into a job interview and it's no longer about, do you like me? You know, am I going to beat out the competition? It's all about figuring out, is there a good fit? Is this my next step? And not taking it personally.
Okay, 1 second.
So can I ask a question, Rich?
Sure. Oh.
Yeah.
So Amy, to you, is the job interview a way of contributing to yourself?
Well, I love it because it allows me to interact with people at a really deep level. You know, at a level that most people, frankly, in the business world don't get to, especially with someone who's a stranger.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So there's a level of intimacy that is just incredible.
Okay, I got it. You ready?
Okay.
I just love doing this. It is just really fun. So your message, obviously, as we talked about last week, you want to take this and make it into your own words and find the runs that fit for you. But it's going to sound something along the lines of, I made me Perone, and I believe in contributing to the lives of others and making a difference in whatever way I can. When we work together, I'm going to talk to you, teach you how to represent who you are in an honest way, grow and learn about who you are to find out if there's a right fit for you and a fulfilling future, so that the job interview becomes a journey and a process of discovery that enables you to gain a level of confidence unlike you've ever felt before, so that you can know with confidence that you are in the right place. If I can add value to that process with you, give me a call.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I like it.
You know, that's what we do. That's the idea. Now that represents you, because I went and took 2 pages of notes of what you told me that you did to live your why on a daily basis. Now you pull it all together, put the right call to action at the end of it, make sure your why statement's on the front end the way that represents you, the way that feels right to you, because it's a feeling.
Right.
And there you have it. There's never going to be a more powerful message than that for your website or wherever you put the message out there for people to make the decision, raise their hand and say, I want to be with her.
Makes sense.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, can I ask you a question, Richly?
But of course.
About the training.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I am so excited about doing the training, because it pulls together, working with people's purposes really pulls together everything that I have done professionally in my life. So I'm very, very excited about that. Now, do we need to create whys for that as well?
Whys for what? Sorry. What do you
for
mean?
being a why coach and for working with you guys and doing workshops and whatever else, whatever other opportunities will be coming down the pike.
No, your why is never going to change. It's just going to be a different expression of it, right?
Okay.
What we just talked about here was the why message that applied to coaching business. The why message may change.
Yes, actually, I meant the why message.
Well, you know what? Hey, Gary, you want to make yourself a note? We need to make sure everybody's got a clear why message when they leave us from coach certification process. See, this is why I love collaboration, right? This is because what I'm looking for, what we are looking for as a team is collaboration on a continuous basis. We believe that the future is about partnership. It's about how do we unite together and, okay, if I have a machine that is going to continue to create workshop opportunities for all of our partner coaches, then obviously it's in our best interest to make everything that you do better, right? And easier and quicker and more efficient. So that's a great idea. I hadn't thought about it. Thank you, Amy, for that great idea. And the answer is yes, we do need to do that. So we're adding that to our list.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Fantastic. All right,
So
Dorothy,
Amy,
looks like... Go ahead.
Well, one of the things, let me add a little bit to that, Amy. So your why is to contribute to a greater cause, to add value to other people. And one of the ways you do that is through your executive coaching, right?
Yes.
Well, another way that you would do that would be with helping people discover their why.
Yes.
And coaching them on the why process, and infusing the why into their life, and infusing the why into their culture, and infusing the why into that B, and infusing the why into their marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, you would have passion for helping people in the why process because it's a better way to contribute to them. It's a phenomenal way to add value to them. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so your messaging would be pretty much the same with whatever you do. It's just your what that would be different.
Okay.
Your why and your how are pretty much the same because it's what you bring. Your why is what makes you special. Your how is what makes you unique, the unique way that you do it. But what you do could be many different things as long as they're a way to contribute.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I was thinking more of, okay, got to get the web page up, do PR stuff, all of that material.
Yeah.
That's where my brain was going to.
Okay, perfect.
Well, and the good news is what I'm sort of trying to share with you is that what we need is really great coaches.
Mm-hmm.
We have a tremendous lead flow of jobs already, tremendous, to the point where I'm kind of overwhelmed a little bit. And I'm excited about the summer because maybe it'll slow down for a minute so I can breathe and get ready for the fall. Gary shaking his head no. Thanks a lot, man. You're all heart.
It's only getting worse.
Okay. No,
or better. Let me see.
That's right.
It's only getting bad as in good.
Right.
That's why we're all here, to help you out. Take some of the pressure off.
Perfect.
Thank you. All right, Amy, thank you so much. Dorothy, I think, is ready over here. I see her smiling away. So, hi, Dorothy.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can. We can hear you perfectly.
Excellent. I just have to begin by saying I've had such a great time doing lots of whys for lots of people. It's made a huge difference for my clients, other people that I network with. It's been a lot of fun to practice.
Wonderful. Awesome. We love the fact that you're practicing. That's great.
It's great. So ready for my why statement?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
I've modeled it very much on Gary's commercial, which I love. At Power My Dreams, we believe people start their business to do great things. Leaders, greatness. They're living a life of hidden pain because their business isn't delivering for them. They're overworked, frustrated, feeling isolated. They really aren't living. This usually happens because of fear, and it doesn't have to be that way. Our vision is to give these leaders their lives back. The way we do this is by providing the leadership team a safe environment to get strong and full of key leadership skills so they become great at seeing and solving the issues of their company and create the wonderful company they've always wanted so they can be the leaders they're meant to be, leading wonderful companies that provide well for them, their employees, their customers, and their communities. That's what we do. I'm Dorothy Kuhn, founder and CEO of Power My Dreams. If this sounds like your story, then give us a call at, or visit us on the web at. Does this sound familiar, Gary?
I think I've heard that before.
I thought your commercial was so perfect that I thought I've got to do this. It's so close to this, and then I'll see how I should change it. So how should I change that? Not
much. There's only one thing you might add.
What?
And this is something that Ridgely and I have talked about, and it's been really powerful for people, is to invite them to come join you. Come join us. You know, that whole concept of come join us. Come be part of our tribe.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Call, say, come join us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an inclusive kind of a feeling. It's a big language, that big inclusive language that make someone say, oh, that feels good, I want to be a part of that.
Right.
Yep. You know,
So
have you ever heard?
The final statement would be, if this sounds like your story, then come join us by calling or visiting.
Yeah, sure. You know, you know why Starbucks named their sizes, you know, Venti, Grande, and whatever the other one is?
Because they didn't know Romance languages?
It's because people would then start to speak their language.
Yeah.
And when you speak their language, you become part of their tribe.
Right.
And you become connected to that company and connected to that product. So you want people to come join you. There's a lot of things we do at my dental practice that are different ways of saying things than anybody else. We've created our own language in lots of ways so that people talk our language. It connects them to us. They talk about it to their friends. We make it simple. We make it easy. We make it not non-confusing or not cluttered. So everything we do, we try to do in picture form more than in word form, so they become part of our tribe. And so the same thing applies to your organization and to the way you speak. Does that make sense?
Well, almost. Question about do in picture form. Do you mean that literally, or do you mean that you use visual language?
No, we do it. I'll give you an example. Let's say you've got a lot of treatment you need done in your mouth, and so you go to the dentist and he sits you down in the chair and looks in there and starts calling out all these things that you need to have done. His assistant's writing them all down. She puts it into the computer. You walk up to the front. They give you a list of all the things you need. You don't understand any of it because it's in dental speak and it's in these ADA codes. So you don't even know what the heck they're talking about, but you say, okay, great, let me go think about it, because you don't even know what it means, right?
Right.
Well, what we do is totally different. We have a step, like if you could picture a graph that's level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. And we talk about that. What people are really looking for when they go to the dentist is to get into a place where they have great teeth and a better life,
right.
where their teeth are an asset, where they have a low maintenance mouth, where they don't need much dentistry, they're just coming to socialize and to have their teeth cleaned. That's what people want to get to, right? And then in order to do that, they have to go through these 3 steps. Step 1, level 1, is dealing with the urgent, things that must get done.
Right.
Once we can get, like toothaches, swelling, that kind of stuff, when we get to level 2, that's where we talk about improvement, where we replace old fillings, replace crowns, you can go get your gums healthy. And once we're done with that, we can get to level 3,
right.
which is things that you want, like straight teeth and white teeth. So when we're doing their treatment plan, we put them into those sections so they can quickly see where we're at and what needs to get done. So it's a quick visual thing. They become part of the story of getting to the great teeth, better life. And once they get to that better life stage, that's when they start to give back and they become an evangelist for our practice.
I love that. And I coach my clients on creating what I call their proven process.
There you go.
That and it's visual, just as you say.
Perfect. Exactly.
I can tell you that to go even a little further on what Gary's talking about, the conversation that I was having today with this high-level consultant was all about how we create our language. We create a language so that when people know each other's why, they begin to speak differently around the office about each other. Oh, there's Joe. He's a right-way guy. Oh, there's Susie. She's a trust person. And people understand each other based on how they think and what they believe, not their function and what they do. It is so much more powerful.
And deep. It helps people really connect.
That's right.
Here's one last thing I want to say on that. And that's when we were working with a Green Spring Associates, which is a multi-billion-dollar venture capital firm. And Ridgely and I did the why of the CEO and the whole executive team. We got to know them on a completely different level than pretty much anything else we could have done. And then when it came time to upsell them, if you will, get them into the Whyification program, where they work with us for the whole year, it was never a sales process. It was more like talking with a friend who we already understood how they think, and they already understand where we're coming from. and they were all speaking our language. They were all talking Y talk, and it was just a couple of buddies saying, "Hey, how can you keep helping us?" Versus, "Well, get the whole proposal together, and we have to present the whole thing and all that." It was just some buddies asking us to continue to help them. Totally
That's
different type of process.
And oh, by the way, that was a 6-figure contract. Just letting everybody know. So, you know, for many of us on the call who are not necessarily used to big contracts, that was 6 figures. So,
Congratulations.
thank you. And I found a great analogy that I'm sure we can use as we're moving forward. But I want to share this with you because it really makes total sense to me. When you know someone's why, you can never look at them like the way you used to. In other words, the way you used to know Joe was, there's Joe, he's married, has 2 kids, and works in accounting. Now, when you know someone's why, you see them differently. There's Joe, and he's a better way person. There's Joe, he's a contributor. There's Joe, he's a trust individual. It's like walking on broken glass. Many of us may have done that as a personal growth exercise. One of my favorite of all of the crazy personal growth things that are out there, and I've done all of them. Jumping out of planes, bungee jumping, diving with sharks, rebar on the throat, swallowing fire, anything you can think of, walking on the coals, I've done them all, everything. But one of my favorites is walking on broken glass. Because when you see all that broken glass, and they're telling you you're going to need to walk across that broken glass, that 20 or 25 feet, it is terrifying. Some people literally can't even take their shoes off. They're so scared. Until you step on the glass. And then you realize that, wow, there's like nothing to this. And once you've walked on that glass and you've gone through it, and you find yourself turning around and taking a couple of steps back to make sure you're not nuts, and you step off the broken glass, you can never be afraid of walking on broken glass again. You can't reset your brain back to, oh, I'm scared of that now, because the experience was so real. When you know someone's why, you can never go back to the old way that you viewed that person. You see them now with a completely new set of eyes, and it is irreversible. So I was able to say, and I'm able to say something, and we will all be able to say this moving forward. The transformation is instantaneous. And for those of us who have been in coaching or consulting for a while, most of the time it's not. It's a process. It takes a long time. Knowing your why and helping someone else understand their why and where they fit in the world, we know, those of us who have been at this, I know that I can take an organization and in 3 hours they're completely different. They never will look at each other the same way again. It is just that powerful. Gary, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, and we even talked about that, using that in some of the marketing that we talked about is, just give us 3 hours. Just give us 15 minutes, really, but just give us 3 hours and we can change your whole business. We can change your culture. We can change your marketing. We can help you see clearly and get inspired in 3 hours every time, no matter what. Never a doubt.
Yep.
That's a powerful thing to have in your pocket. Like I said, it's like that pair of glasses. We have this pair of glasses, and if we give you those glasses, if you put these glasses on, you'll be able to see clearly who you are, who you have on your team, how you all fit together, how to infuse that into your culture, and how to infuse that into your marketing just by putting these glasses on. And we have them in this little box right here. Once we give those to you, wow, 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 wow. So we've seen it over and over and over and over. So that's why we can say that. Never have we not seen it work.
That's right. Never. So, quick thing for everybody, and this is just a quick offer. If anybody's interested, take advantage of it. If not, totally get it. We've had a number of email requests about, can you guys help us produce videos? And the answer is yes, we can definitely do that. It's one of the things we do for clients all the time. You've probably seen some of our videos, like the Green Spring video or team bonding, others. We do them all the time. We have a killer team of copywriters. Federico leads up the video squad. So here's the deal. Ordinarily, to produce a video, if you're using us to do it from start to finish, all the writing, all the editing, all the photo selection, et cetera, is a $4,500 charge. People pay it all the time. But here's the good news for everybody on this call. You've actually done most of the work that we make people go through. So if anybody is interested in having a video done by us, you can click on the link that Federico is going to give you somehow. I don't know how he does all that stuff. Sorry. Fed is going to give you the link.
It's already there. Yes.
Okay, cool. And
Yes.
what that will do is you have to have this special promo code. If you're interested in having a video done by us, the promo code is pretty straightforward, WVC. The WVC promo code will give you a 65% discount off of that standard video pricing. So if you're interested in having us do a video, obviously it'll be on a first come, first served basis because I can't do 7 videos at the same time and overload the team. If you want your video done by us, click on the link and enter WVC. If you don't enter WVC, it's going to charge you $4,500. Just letting you know, because that's what everybody else pays. But since you've done most of the work, if you're interested in having a video done, enter WVC. We will put this in an email, follow up, and our team will go to work for you. So just to let you know, that's available to you if you want, in answer to your requests for video production. As we talked about earlier, before we dive into an open Q&A on this coaching certification, I know a lot of people have questions about it, so we wanted to spend a little bit of time on that. Is there anybody else who has a burning desire to have a why or why message done?
Yes,
before?
I would.
Okay.
Federico could yes.
Yes, I would. Terry.
Okay, Terry. Far out. All right, Terry. Well, we're happy to do it for you, brother. That's all good, man. That's why we're here and enjoying ourselves. So,
Thanks.
And congratulations to Dorothy for doing a great job on her why message. But now, Terry, you're up, brother.
Thank you.
Tell me, what is your why, first of all?
It's the same as yours, to understand.
It make sense out of things?
Yes.
Oh, man. I mean, you got the best why. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. So it's a drag for everybody else on this call, but that's okay. We're good. So, and I'm sorry, Terry, I forgot. What is your last name again? How do you spell it?
Hickey.
Perfect. Okay, man. So then tell us, how do you let the rest of the world know that you are a problem solver, you're someone who sees solutions that others don't necessarily see, that you are able to sort through lots of complex data and information and help people that way? How do you let them know that?
Almost always I'm able to rapidly demo it, so that's one way. The other is I'm able to listen for a short period of time and hear the underlying problem, hear the underlying issue that's stopping them from being effective. Be it a limiting belief, ambivalence, lack of information, I'm able to pinpoint what it is that's stopping them from getting what they want.
Yep. And what do you do with that?
I check it out, meaning that I say something to the effect of, is this what's going on? And I summarize it, and I'm really good at picking up what's going on so that they rapidly go, yeah, that's it exactly. Or, wow, you've got it even better than I've got it.
I'm only chuckling because we do the same thing, right? So it's I'm chuckling with you as a brother here. And then what do you do once they know that you do get them? What do you do with that?
I ask them what they want instead of what's been happening. And I help them really get specific and clear about what it is they want instead, and make sure that what they want is going to be ecological. And by that I mean, is it actually going to benefit you? Are there any potential downsides to going for this? I think systemically in that way.
Why do you ask them that?
because I understand that I'm going to be able to help them get it, and I want to make sure that what we're doing is actually what's most beneficial to them. So I try to understand the whole map. I try to understand how this has worked, what has gone on, what they like instead, and I always work with the idea that there's a good reason that they have been doing what they're doing. It may be outdated, it may have been worked at one time in their life, but it's no longer serving them. So it's the idea of I want to understand clearly what's going on and see how it works and see what the benefit is before we start doing any kind of shifting or changing.
Awesome. Man, this is like so up my alley, it's not even funny. I'm like, I got this, done. Ready? I mean, sorry, man, but what happens is when you work with somebody and they share your same why, I'm like, Terry's my main man. I got this. This is like done. This is a piece of cake. So, and by that I mean not to make light of the process at all. It's just that I really do get it because we think the same way. So when you're telling me all this, I'm going, yeah, that's exactly what I do. Clear. Okay. So in sharing that, and especially the beginning part of the why message statement for you, Terry, is really important because, you know, to some people, making sense out of the complex and challenging is I solve problems. I believe in resolving issues. I believe in taking in lots of information and making sense out of it. There's lots of ways of saying it, and I'm going to invite you to find that piece of the message that works best for you. So I'm going to give you kind of a little bit of the generic beginning and let you make sense out of it, okay? So I'll let you work on that part.
Okay.
The rest is pretty straight. I mean, the rest is like speaking my language, so it's all good. And it might sound something like this. I'm Terry Hickey, and I believe in making sense out of complex things for the benefit of others. When we work together, I'm going to listen deeply to hear the underlying issues, the ones that are stopping you, whether that's lack of information, a limiting belief, or any other stop that you may have. Whatever is the thing that is blocking you from getting what you want, and check in with you to make sure that I fully understand the issue and get you. I want to find out what you want, get specific and clear about it, and make sure that what you're looking for is also going to benefit you, so that when we work together, it is both beneficial to you and serves you in your future and your evolution. If that sounds like someone that you want to help, if that sounds like someone that you would like to work with, then give me a call.
I'm shaking my head, yes.
Yeah, exactly, right?
That captures it.
Because that was it. I mean, that to me, that's like, okay, that's Terry. He's speaking my language. I know exactly what we're talking about. Everything that you do is let me listen. Let me take it in. Let me hear what the issues are. Let me help you sort through those to make sure that, is it a lack of information? Is it a limiting belief? What other thing is stopping you out there? Then, now that I'm going to get involved with you, let's just make sure that we understand that this is really where you want to go, that it's really what's going to benefit you, and if not, find out what is going to benefit you, get really clear on that, get very specific about it, so that we can make sure that the work that we do together is addressing the root of the issue and coming up with the solution that best serves you. Does that sound about like you?
It does.
Yeah, sure, man.
Can I have one thing to that?
Of course.
Please.
One other thing that tends to resonate with me in terms of that why, your why, you two know-it-alls, is is that you guys help people move forward.
Yes.
That's so critical, because what you really do, both of you, is you take in all this information. You can almost think of a funnel. You take in all this information and then you funnel it down to that thing, that one thing that is keeping them stuck. And you help them move around it, over it, through it, whatever needs to happen to get through it so they can move forward. You help people move forward.
Yes.
He does it every day, and I'm sure you do too, Terry.
Yeah. Yes, that's it.
Yeah. I'm sure that, and Ridgely, I see Ridgely do it all the time. It's just so natural for him. He doesn't even realize what he's doing. But anytime there's a stop or anytime we can't figure something out or anytime anyone's stuck anywhere with anything, Ridgely helps them move forward. Could be.
I kind of, what I say about it is, it's almost like I cannot not do it.
Yeah.
It's like I hear it right away, and it's second nature to me now.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for so long; it's part of who I am.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like we can stop ourselves. I mean, yes, we might be able to keep our mouth shut. We might be able to be empathetic and listen. The idea of stopping ourselves from solving the problem, or at least coming up with an alternative solution or some new take on it, is impossible. That's just not happening. Right?
But to sum it up, that, you know, if I sum up what I see you guys doing, is you help people move forward. Whatever it takes, you help them move forward.
Yeah, I start out, one of the beliefs that I hold that works really well for me is I know when people work with me, they're going to get results. It's not a question in my mind. And part of what happens is having that just means that I stay curious and I don't presuppose that I know. I know that people will tell me if I ask the right questions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And in the same way, when you this is the thing that is so fun about doing this work about the why. I know that I can make bold, ridiculous claims that I can back up, right? When you guys, I'm not sure. You know, Gary Sanchez always makes me better. So I was cooking along, and then Gary Sanchez got this book. Oh, I think I have it right here. Hold on. If you guys haven't seen this one, it's a real winner. You guys seen this guy? It's a great book, Presentation Secrets of Steve Jobs. And from here, I came up with the initial opening line that I use now for all of my speeches, which is, with Gary's help, because Gary was the one who found it. I just pilfered it. Once in a great while, something comes along that is so powerful that it literally changes things. And those people who adopt it find themselves professionally transformed forever. And that lane is such a big claim. You better be able to back it up if you're in front of 100 CEOs that are super smart, because they're now looking to where do they take you down. I mean, that's just the way that mindset works. And when you can back it up, it ends up becoming like, oh my God, I just went to one of the best presentations I've ever seen in my life, because you were willing to put a stake in the ground, as Marcia loves to say, and just say, you know what? I know what we have is ridiculously awesome, and you guys are about to experience it. Watch this. Game on. So cool. That's just so much fun. I know exactly what you're saying, Terry. That level of confidence, you know you can make a difference. You know you can help them. You know you can move them forward. I feel the same way every time I get on a call. It's so great. So thank you, brother. Thanks for participating. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Terry.
Awesome.
So you're going to make sure that that date gets changed, right?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Okay.
He'll help you move forward.
Thank
yeah,
you.
no, for sure.
I appreciate it.
So, yeah, what we're going to do, so let me tell you what's going to happen, because I want to respect the fact that it's, you know, after the hour. We're going to stay on, but I just want to respect that fact. What we're going to do is we're going to circle up internally about the date, talk tomorrow amongst ourselves, figure that out. We are then going to set a webinar. We will send you out an advance notice on date. We're then going to set a webinar where we're going to go through a lot of the details of what's going to happen during that weekend for those people who can participate. I am anticipating that the webinar will be approximately between 10 to 15 days from now, so not very far out, so that people who are looking to participate with us in July have at least a month of advanced time to be able to prepare, adjust their schedules, all that kind of a thing.
Because there is a book to read.
Yeah, there's a book to read. There's, you know, some other homework to do, all that kind of good stuff, and all of that will be forthcoming. Then the process is going to look like this. We will come together. There will be an application process, by the way. This is, unfortunately, and I'm not trying to be a pain in the neck in any way, Our clients are very, very powerful, very high-level people. And therefore, unfortunately, there will be a level of competency required that is higher than general in terms of what we're going to do. We're basically going to create an elite group of people, and we think that's really important. Once that process is done, we will come together, we will work together, and then for a short period of time, we will invite our coach partners to participate side by side with us, Gary and Ridgely, doing some of the workshops, of which we have a boatload of. And then as soon as we are comfortable that everyone is up to speed, we will then turn those over to you. Everything is done in our machine, and as a result of being done in our machine, we can see everything, we can help. By the way, yes, it is the way that we built the machine, we can see everything, which on the one hand is oversight. From our perspective, it's not about that. From our perspective, it's all about partnership. How do we become better together? What can we do to serve you? So, you know, I think that with that in mind, we're all going to be able to come together. We're going to have an unbelievably great time, and hopefully we're going to walk out with some skill sets that can really translate into helping a lot of organizations. My personal job, my personal mission, where I want to get to, as quickly as I humanly possibly can, is I'm not doing any of these workshops anymore. I'm like, love you people, please take over, please do these. I can't do these anymore. I have another group of CEOs to go speak to, and that's kind of the way, just to give you an idea how ridiculous this topic is, right? Anybody heard of Vistage? Raise your hand if you've heard of Vistage. Vistage is a CEO organization. They have 16,000 CEOs in the organization. They meet in small groups, 12 to 18 per month, and it's kind of like if you've never gotten a Screen Actors Guild card, it works like this. To get a Screen Actors Guild card, you have to somehow get a Screen Actors Guild job. So you have to get a Screen Actors Guild job, and then as a result of getting 3 Screen Actors Guild jobs, you can get a Screen Actors Guild card. But you can't get a Screen Actors Guild job unless you have a Screen Actors Guild card. So it's a complete catch-22. They've got you. They don't want to allow people into the group unless they somehow prove themselves to be so valuable that they have to give you the job, not once, not twice, but 3 times, and then you can get a SAG card. And I learned that because I used to live in Hollywood. So it's the same thing with speaking at Vistage. You can't become a Vistage speaker unless you've been to a Vistage event and you've been rated. But unless you've been rated, nobody wants to invite you to a Vistage event. And that's how it works. Unless, of course, you have a topic that is so ridiculously hot that you put out the fact that you're available at 11:30 in the morning, and by 4 hours later, you're already booked. That would be my experience last Monday. 4 hours. So it is a little crazy how ridiculous this is going. And by the way, the first Vistage speaking job that I have is on June 11th. The collective revenues of the 11 people who will be in the room are in excess of $400 million, including the CEO of a bunch of companies that you would know that I probably should refrain from stating just so I don't get myself in trouble. But that was the first time, first one out of the gate. How many jobs do you think I'm picking up on that day? I don't know, 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10.
It's crazy.
I know, right? Anyway, it's going to be super fun. Anybody else? We're going to throw this open to Q&A about the coaching certification process. I know a lot of people have questions on that. Anybody else want to have why work done first? If so,
Yes.
tell Fede.
Yes, Estrin does.
Okay, Estrin, Gary, you're on.
Let's see, is it, can you unmute yourself? Are you there?
Gary, or sorry, Fede, can you unmute Estrin?
I am trying, yes.
Estrin, can you unmute yourself?
There we go. That should be... Estrin, you should be unmuted. Oh, you just muted yourself back on.
Can you hear us, Estrin?
Ridley, and while we work with Esther, I just wanted to mention to everybody, to you actually, that Jacqueline sort of has joined us for the video package, and Jacqueline will be getting in touch with you very shortly. Congratulations!
Awesome.
This is an awesome way to step it up and get out there and start getting your message out there in the world. Awesome.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Look forward to working with you, or Fede does.
I'm wondering if it's your headset. We had this problem earlier with Fede's headset. It just wouldn't, the microphone wouldn't work. Whoop. I think we lost her.
Yes.
Well, let's keep going.
Okay, questions?
I have a question.
Shoot.
Okay, when I did the Y test, I ended up having a different Y than I actually thought I did. Kind of close to it, but not it exactly. So it was kind of off the mark. And some of the questions, as I went to answer them, like you have two choices, they didn't really fit. So I didn't know which one to take, and so I choose one. Well, what I really thought I was to the how was more like make sense out of things with coaching, and the other was to do things a better way. And what I got through the engine was the right way.
Mm-hmm. All close.
When I sat down and I went through I haven't done my why with anyone else, but when I sat down with myself and went through going deeper and deeper with the questioning, it's more of and how I approach my life, and how I realized that since doing the why is doing a better way. I'm always saying, well, I wonder how this could be done. Oh, why isn't it done this way? Oh, I wonder if I could do it this way. And I'm always approaching life and everyone around me in that way, and I always see it that way. And making sense out of it is I'm pulling things together if I'm coaching, and it's like a puzzle, and it's like I see all the pieces to the puzzle. And it's like I put them together, so when I'm working with someone, it's like they get their aha, and after several sessions, it's like going back to all the pieces from all the sessions and pulling them all together. So I'm working with it kind of both ways, but that's how it came up on the engine. But right away, I did give you my feedback. I don't know if anyone saw it. But right away with the engine, when I did it, I thought, oh, well, I wonder if it could have been done this way instead, because if you would have had all these options like you do in DISC, it would be different. So that's what happened to me.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because obviously we appreciate your going through the engine, and the good news is our guys are super technically savvy, so they can see exactly where you went down one way or another way, and are going through that with the analysis. And if you felt that you're a better way person, then I don't think there's anybody better than to, because through the engine we promise progress but not perfection. When Gary or Ridgely is doing a why, we're pretty confident we're going to get it right. So obviously we're continuing to perfect the engine, and we're still in beta. We're not releasing it from beta until we feel like we're hitting like a 96% efficiency rate. So we're still in beta at the moment, and thank you for participating. Gary, since she thinks she's a better way girl, I think this one's yours, bro.
Yeah, perfect. All right, Marcia, let's do your why right now, so then we'll know, because it's it's really challenging to do your own why.
Yeah, Esther, we're hearing you now, but please do mute yourself temporarily. We'll come back to you in a second.
Okay, thank you.
So, Marcia, you know the questions I'm going to ask you. Tell us about a specific interaction you had with somebody, a specific conversation that you had in the last couple of weeks at work that made you feel successful.
Okay, so this would be working with a client, and thinking of a specific conversation, because it's always such a series of things, because I'm working through, you start at point A and you go B, C, D, and you get all the pieces to put together, but it's like when they're
okay, so I don't need a when they.
There isn't a relationship.
Marcia?
They're talking, yes.
Marcia, I don't need a when they. I want a specific conversation. So this is something important for you to understand, as you're helping people discover their why. So the specific interaction that you had that made you feel successful.
Okay, she suddenly realized as we were going through it that she had the synchronicities that we were talking about happening, that she got the hugest aha, that she could look at her life in a whole different perspective, in a different way. Because of putting all the pieces together, it was like, oh, I see what I thought of as a victimhood and everything bad happening to me, and I can now look at the value I got from it because of what I learned from that. That's who I am today, and that's now what I can offer someone else.
Okay, so she came to you with some problems. You worked through
Yes.
your process with her, and she got the aha moment.
Correct.
And why did that make you feel successful?
Because I love seeing people get that light on, that aha, that they've made a difference in their life. They're someone different today than they were before.
Okay, so you helped her move down her path.
Yes, right.
Okay, so tell me about a specific interaction you had with somebody outside of work that made you feel successful.
Okay, so this is a very simple thing, but I'm at a bank. We're working on something at the bank. And the person I'm working with, we have to call another person in the department over, and she's sitting there waiting for her latte to show up. Because, I said, we're just sitting there. She said, oh, I'm waiting for this guy to show up from the office who gets it outside the office. So I'm saying, you mean you don't have coffee or anything here? Well, no, the machine has this and this and this. So they removed it all. And so I say, well, have you ever thought about bringing your own in so you could have it there so you wouldn't have to wait for that? You know, they have these nice little machines that they can, you put those little coffee inserts into. Oh, I have one of those at home. Oh, I've never thought of that. That's a great idea. Then I wouldn't have to sit here and wait for someone to bring me my coffee. So it's a simple little thing.
And
but that's kind of...
Yeah, why did that make you feel successful?
Because I solved an issue for her that made her happy, and she can look at it a whole different way.
Did you show her a different way, or did you show her a better way?
Well, so how you look at that. So to me, it would be a better way.
Better way. Okay.
And to her, I assume so too, because she liked the idea.
Okay, great. So tell me about another interaction, just to verify this. It could be at work or outside of work that made you feel successful. Another conversation.
Okay, so this conversation is really a self-realization of myself using the why, being the why. Okay, here I was at my daughter's house, and sometimes we don't, kind of clash in how we're thinking. And I decided we had lunch together, and then afterwards I was going to help her fold some laundry. Very simple thing. So I get it all folded. She tells me where to go with it. I go up to the dresser where my grandson's things are, and I'm thinking the drawers are all stuffed. I can't even stick it in the drawers. So one of them is full of toys and things. So I think, oh, well, if we remove some of the toys and put them in their own little treasure chest, then there'd be space in the drawer. So I mentioned this to her, and her response is, oh, no, I can't have things mixed up all that way. They have to be in their place the right way. So here I was thinking that here I am trying to make a better way, and she's a right way. And I finally clicked on me what the situation was.
Yeah, I'll tell you, just the three examples that you gave are right in line with how I would think. And my way's a better way too. And by the way, you have the best why. I know Ridgely thought he had the best why, but you do have the best.
But I use Ridgely's when I do some things, though. You see, so it's kind of the how.
Yeah. So a better way might be the right way. A better way might be an outside-the-box way. A better way may be a different way.
Right.
There's a lot of things that might be the better way, but you're always looking for a better way.
Yeah, and I think outside the box, too. I'm not really always in the box.
Because it might be better.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
Oftentimes inside the box is not better.
Right.
Unless it is better.
Right. Perfect.
Terry, these guys are bugging me, man.
Yeah, so we could go on for a while, but we probably better not. Have you got your why message?
No, I haven't worked on it. This month. May has been a very hectic month for me, so I haven't really focused a lot on this. But I am going to a conference leaving tomorrow morning early, where there's going to be a lot of networking, and I want to talk to a lot of people about discovering their why, and I want to work with a lot of people just to do it manually. So I'm hoping to collect a lot of cards to do that.
So how do you let people know that you found a better way, or that you know a better way? What are the ways that you go about doing it?
You know, I haven't done that as far as, doing my messaging and so on. I haven't approached it even that way. So
we're
this
going
is
to do
where
it
I
right
just
now.
okay, right now. Okay.
This is a better way.
Okay.
So tell me how you let people know that you found a better way, or how do you go about finding a better way?
I don't even know how I do that. I mean, how I find a better way, it's like it just comes natural. It's just like, oh, here's how it's being done. I wonder how I can be more effective or improve what's happening. But it's not even a conscious thing. It's kind of like it just happens. It just happens in conversation. I'll start asking questions of people because I'll see it and say, well, this, and I'll ask, well, what if this, or whatever. So it's not something I approach people with doing. It just happens.
And so what is it that actually happens in your mind? What do you go through? What's the process you go through to find a better way?
I start looking at different options, I guess, in my mind mentally. So it's like looking at something and mentally putting the picture together and seeing how that will fit. And then it would be a process of experimenting, or depends on what it would be, what that would. If it's talking with a person, it would probably be asking questions. If it's working on a puzzle problem for me that I need an answer to, it would be sorting out maybe the outcomes of each of those in my mind and then testing them.
Mm-hmm. Do you look for other ways, for other people that have already done what you're trying to do?
Yes, I'd probably do that too. Could get examples and then put it together and try to figure out how they would fit together, or what I can take of each one to put it together.
Yeah.
What would work the best out of all of it?
So you're constantly scanning every day, everywhere you go, looking for ways that people do things, so that you can use them other places. Do you associate? Do you associate? You know what I mean by associate?
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
You can take from one industry and use it somewhere else. Like if you saw something at a restaurant, you could then use that, something that was done really well at a restaurant. That's a better way. You could use that at a dental office.
Yes, if it were applicable to that, yes. If it replied to that, yes. Right.
Yeah. So you're always scanning, looking for ways that people are doing things that are getting success, and looking for other places you can use that?
Yes, right.
That's exactly what I do. The only reason I'm kind of leading you on a little bit is where I know we're running out of time.
Right, and I know, and I almost didn't pop in, but...
No, but it's good. It's really good because you're going to... it's important to be clear on not only what your why is, but how you bring it to life.
Right.
So that what you do makes sense. So being a coach for somebody... where you are constantly working them down a path that shows them a better path. Do you think you would have passion for that?
Well, yes. I'm always, it starts, as soon as I'm doing it, I'm looking for the parts of where it's going to help lead them someplace where they might not see it themselves. Right.
Yeah, where they're better off.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, Marcia, when somebody asks you this weekend, what is it you do? You could say, well, I coach. What would you say? What type of coach do you do? Do you executive coach or? No,
it's just individual. In fact, I'm a new coach.
A new coach. Okay.
A new coach. But I'm primarily with relationships, and I've learned coaching through a different way. The coaching I use is really going through the right brain instead of the left brain. So people use the creative imagination to solve it through not necessarily right, although I do both. Because I also enjoy working with the laws. So Mary Morrissey's whole coaching program. I've done 2 different coaching programs to use.
So here's something that's kind of interesting for everybody else that's on the call. It really doesn't matter what you use, Marcia, because you're always looking for whatever's best, whatever's going to work. Right. So you're somebody, so you feel successful when you're able to help people find a better way. And so you're always on the lookout for what will work. you can take from many different disciplines, from many different teachers, from many different philosophies, and you're able to incorporate that into a way to help somebody get out of the situation they're in and find a better way.
Yes.
So you're that person that's always looking to help people do better.
Right.
So when you're talking to your clients, that's what you can say. For me,
Right.
I feel successful when I help people find a better way. And I
Right.
do that by constantly scanning and scouring new information, existing information, new techniques, and I use those to help other people move forward. Whether that's the ones that you said earlier, the laws or
But yeah,
the...
Mary Morrissey's, we're in law of attraction and all those things, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you
Right.
use all these different disciplines to help people do better.
Right.
Is that right? So if you're looking for someone to help you do better in any of these areas, then I'm your gal,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm your coach. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So the interesting thing about our why is it's not that we're stuck on any one thing. We're stuck on whatever's going to work best.
Right.
Does that feel right to you? Is that
Yeah,
how you
it does feel right to me. And I know other people, they need to get forward. So that feels great. And I'll listen to it again.
Okay.
And I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Okay, Marcia. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you so much.
And you do have the best why.
Thank you.
Just ask Ridgely. He'll tell you.
Right, I know. Right
No.
with it.
He won't say that.
I know. He's kind of stuck on his.
I know. I don't know what that is. Okay, thanks.
Uh-huh. How do I get out of here?
I'll mute you. There you go. Now, how do I... Okay. Estrin, are you ready?
I'm ready. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Awesome.
Excellent.
So where are you... what's your why, Estrin? I'm sorry, my dogs are barking over here.
I need some help on actually creating it. Originally, it helped me with that at the Wealthy Visionary Conference, and I had a mishap with some of my materials, so it's like I'm starting from scratch. And basically, my why is I really love to help people figure out what it is that they want to accomplish in life and help them uh, with a variety of different methods be able to facilitate that happening. Either if they don't know already, help them figure out what it is. If they already have a clue what it is, I show them how to actually bring that into being. I
So
had a client on the phone, a potential client on the phone today that, she wanted some coaching and she wasn't really familiar with spirit-based coaching, which is what I do because I'm always in contact with the divine. So when a person is talking to me, I automatically start getting this download of these solutions to help them fix their problem as they're having the conversation with me. And by the time we finish talking, I may have 5 or 6 different ways of things that they can do every day to help them to be able to facilitate that.
So, Estrin, have you used so neither Ridgely nor I have done your why, is that correct?
Well, Ridgely did it for me at the conference, but I lost some paperwork that I had, so I really feel like I'm starting from scratch again.
Okay, so Ridgely, I doubt you happen to remember. You've only done about 4,000 cents.
No, sorry.
And you haven't had, Estrin, have you gone on to the Y engine and used the Y engine?
I did the beta earlier today, and as I listened to originally talking to some of the other people like Terry and I can't think of the lady was just on Marsha. We're all kind of similar, and I guess because we all aspire to help people. I mean, when I went through the beta, it told me that part of my why is I simplify things for people. They may come with something very complex, and I may be able to show them 3 or 4 different ways of being able to accomplish their goal.
So your why, when you went through the engine, was to simplify.
Correct.
Oh, well, good. And how did that feel to you?
That resonated with me because when I work with someone, I want to cut through all the clutter. I want to make sure that whatever their end goal is, that's let me rephrase that. I equate it to a map. When you open a map up, not GPS, where you see where you are, you see where you want to go, and you just look for the best route to get to where you want to go. So I'm kind of backtracking on that. So when they're talking to me, I automatically can actually visualize all these different routes to get them to where they want to be.
So do you talk to them about all the different routes, or is it more about the simplest route?
Depending on what they want to accomplish, sometimes the simplest route is not always the best one, because if they have other little goals that they want to accomplish along the way, then that's something that I have to equate into something personalized that I make specifically for them. To give you an example, if a person is on a wants a certain route where they want to say it Best Western Hotels, where someone else may want to say it to Wyndham, then the route is going to be different based upon that.
Okay. So, is it more important for you to make things simple, or is it more important for you that they understand it? You make it understandable.
I want to make it understandable. Sometimes it's not always really simple, but my process for them is simple.
Okay. Ridley, does she sound just like you?
Sounds a little bit like me, but you just never know till you do the process.
All right. Why don't we just
Okay.
do it, and then we'll have it.
Okay.
So, Esther, and tell us about a specific interaction that you've had with somebody that in the last couple of weeks at work that made you feel successful. Specific person.
Ooh, that lady that I had this morning that didn't know anything about coaching. Uh, Felt very promising for me because I gave her some information, even though we're not working together yet, that actually gave her a different perspective on coaching than what she was already used to. She looked at coaching as being where I have a business coach, they're going to give me charts and graphs and things to work on. Where I come from a whole different approach where I have her actually outline her goals and do meditations to get the feeling of what it's like to actually see these things coming into fruition, and then what the next step is going to be after that, after these things actually start happening to you. How do you proceed at that point? And she never looked at it like that before.
So what about it made you feel successful? What about that interaction made you feel successful?
That even though I talked to her on the phone, she was getting it because I was getting responses back from her that it was clicking for her.
So, and what do you think you actually did for her? Do you think you helped her see it differently, or do you help you think you made it understandable?
I think I broadened her perspective where she was actually able to look at coaching in a different manner than what she was used to.
Okay, good. So tell me about a specific interaction you had with somebody outside of work that made you feel successful.
Outside of work, I was able to get my husband to go to a seminar in Georgia where
And
he
what about
actually
that?
took off time from work, and we actually made it into a road trip, and it actually became a not just a business trip anymore, but a really pleasurable experience because we don't get a chance to spend a lot of time together. So we got an opportunity to do that, go someplace that we'd never been to before, learn some really interesting information, and then enjoy the trip back. And it took us almost 2 weeks to do that. Oddly enough, he took off time from work. So I think that that was a great accomplishment.
And why did him doing all of those things make you feel successful?
Because I enjoy spending time with him. It was knowledge that I wanted to share with him. It's something that we were actually doing together, and the time that we actually spend together in the truck, just driving and seeing new and different things.
So this was kind of a different type experience for you too.
Yes,
Okay. Is it important for you to do things differently, to think outside the box?
I do. I often think outside the box because most of the people flew to the event, and we're always about the journey and not necessarily the destination. So it's important for us to drive more so than fly if we can actually physically do that and do it in
So,
a timely manner.
but the overall experience was just different than what you normally would do, or what normal people, not normal people, but typical people would do. You wanted to do it differently.
Correct.
Do you always want to do it differently? Are you always
Yes.
looking for? Yeah.
Always looking for the different thing because everybody does the same thing, and I want to see, okay, if I do it a little different, am I going to get a different experience out of it? Am I going to feel a little differently about it? And that's one of the reasons why we didn't fly, because you fly over stuff, and if you drive through, you see more things, and you would
Yeah.
see things that you wouldn't be able to experience any other way.
Why is it important for you to do things differently? Why is it important for you to do
Be-
everything differently?
because you only get one life that you can remember, and you should make the most out of every moment that you have an opportunity to experience.
That was interesting. Only one life you can remember.
That's
What do you
right.
mean by that?
Well, I believe in reincarnation, that our spirit continues to transcend with each body that we get. And the previous life that you have, you may not remember that, even though your spirit may have glimpses of it, but you want to be able to get all the gusto that you can get while you're here, because you never know how long you're going to be here. You could die tomorrow. And I don't ever want to live in the land of regret. I want to be able to experience as many things as I can and enjoy life.
Uh-huh. Okay, so what do you believe about being inside the box?
I'm always trying to bust out of it, because to me that's confining, it's restrictive. And if I'm outside of the box, then there is no limit, there's no cap. Why
Yeah,
are you
and so
laughing, Ridgely?
I'm just listening to my brother Gary just go through the process, having some fun. He is enjoying you, and he's enjoying himself, and it's wonderful to watch.
and he's also making fun of my background. I'm out in my backyard now. It's dark here, so it looks like I'm coming out of the dark at you. But so, is there any growth inside the box?
If you're a seed, you're trying to get out of the box by growing out of it.
So you being inside the box is like death.
Yeah, I don't want to be in the box. I
Yeah, I
like
can
getting
see
out of the box.
Yeah. And so everything you do is a little bit outside the box. Like you said something about spiritual something or other, spiritual counseling or
All of my
awakening.
coaching is based on a spiritual premise that we have all the knowledge that we need, because we come here with it. We just need to be able to tap into it. And most people don't know how to tap into it. And that's where I come in. I show them how to go ahead and do that.
Which is definitely outside the box.
Yes.
Okay. So your why then, unless Ridgely sees something different, which I know he doesn't, is to challenge the status quo, to think different. Right? Does that sound right to you?
Yes.
For sure. And you believe that to experience a life that you can remember, you need to be outside the box. You need to expand your limits. You need to be that seed growing, the sprout going outside of the box, where there's growth, where there's excitement, where there's energy, where there's different. Being the same as everybody else will keep you in a box, which won't allow you to grow, which won't allow you to experience life. And so you help people get outside the box and experience a life to remember. Does that sound right?
Correct.
Yeah. That's awesome. My wife thinks the same way.
Smart woman. Actually, smart man, because you married her.
Exactly. So, was that helpful? Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
So, for you, life is about being outside the box. Life is about challenging the status quo. Life is about thinking different. Life is about expanding horizons so you can make it memorable. So you can do all you can do while you're here for this life. And so if you're looking for somebody to help you move into a life you're going to remember, you're the lady for that.
And I'll play this back and type that down word for word.
Mm-hmm. Because
And then make them your own.
Yep. Because I see
That
that in
sounds
you.
pretty good.
Yeah. Well, it's what you do every day.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
It's just having the words to be able to express it and articulate it. Everybody wants to tell the world what makes them special, why they're here, what their purpose is here. Your purpose is to help people grow, get them out. Your purpose here is to help people make their life memorable.
Okay. Never thought about it exactly like that before.
Well, that's what you told me.
Yep, I heard it too.
Play
I
it
like
back
that.
and listen to it and hear yourself.
I will.
You.
Thank you so much.
I know we're way over time, and I'm sorry, but I wanted you to have that. It's important. So.
And I appreciate that. And you have a great perspective in the way that you pull the information from me. And I want to learn how to do this so that I can do that for my clients. So it's another layer on top of what I already do.
It will be more authentic to them. Here's another important. I know we're getting way over time, but I just need to. I need to say this. I can't not say it.
Better way guy.
I am a better way guy, and what I want you to think about is, you see life from the perspective that you see it, which is different, which is outside the box, right? So you're looking for people that are looking to be out, to create a memorable life, to be outside the box, to expand their horizons. But they're going to see life from the way that they see it, from their why. So if you're able to help them expand their life, but talk to them in a way that they hear it, you'll be wildly successful.
Oh, okay. I appreciate that.
I hope that made sense.
It did.
They can't hear it the way you think it. They hear it the way they think it. So if you know what their why is, you can speak to them
in their language.
In their language, but get your message across in their language. Hope I didn't confuse you, but that was outside the box,
No,
and I
I
thought
got
you'd appreciate it. So, anyways,
thank you very much. Really
Thanks, Esther.
appreciate it.
That was great.
All right. So wrapping up, just a few thoughts here, and obviously we'll circle back with more. It's been really funny watching the background behind Gary. I've really enjoyed that whole thing. It was like all these kids. I appreciate you having to go outside your house, step outside on the back porch that I've been on many times, and hang out with us.
My daughter's here with all of her friends. They're out of high school, so I got a house full of kids in the background. I didn't think you wanted to hear all their conversations. So I'm out on the porch.
It's all good, man. We appreciate you. Get an office, man. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, couple things. Please do the survey. Please, we always want to be better. Our why is to find a better way. So if you can, please do the survey for us. That would be great. If you are interested in getting a video done, you know where the link is. And if you think that you are a person who is serious about getting Y certified as a coach, do us a favor. Send an email to Federico. Just hit contact us the way you normally talk to Fede. Send them an email saying, okay, I'm very, very interested, so we can kind of begin to assemble that. We're going kind of broad to find some very elite people, and obviously it's been an absolute joy and a delight to be with all of you, especially people that come to me from one of my dearest friends in the world, Marcia Weeder. She and I are like this close. We go way, way back, and I have tremendous confidence in her and everything that she does and brings to the table. She's a truly unique and gifted individual. So if it makes sense for you to want to go on a little further with us, then obviously we would love to make that happen. I know we're now way, way over time. Anybody have any burning questions, or can we reserve sort of the coaching certification questions for our webinar that's going to be up and coming in the next little bit? Federico, anybody else have any burning questions? 'Cause otherwise, I'd rather end our 8 weeks on sort of sharing some great, fabulous thoughts with each other. What it's been like for you, what has been the biggest takeaway that you've had so far from doing this, and sort of say, not even goodbye, but until the next one. I'm sure it's coming up very shortly.
Well, that's exactly what they're saying in the comments section. Ridgely's like, what? Ridgely's joy and giddiness is so inspiring. Thanks, Ridgely, for sharing. What a memorable last hangout. You know, I'm so sad this is the final hangout. You know, it just goes on and on. So, Ridgely and Gary, you've touched a lot of hearts. It's been really, really awesome. One thing on the practical end that I do want to mention, for those of you who want your videos done by our team, and you're not able to get on the link, Kat, I saw you made a note of that. Just, again, shoot me an email, support@yengine.com. Okay, just let me know. It's like, hey, Federico, interested in having you guys do the video. We will be sending email reminders anyway. So with that, you know, thanks again. It's been really, really awesome being here, Ridge. I mean, it's been really, it's been quite a ride, you know, once a week.
All right, Gary, final words from you, brother.
I think we've helped people find a better way. And I see it in their spirit, I see it in their heart, I see it in their excitement, and there's nothing better for us than helping people find a better way. Seeing clearly and getting inspired. Nothing better.
And my biggest thing that I want to share is just a tremendous appreciation that I feel for all of you, both members of our team, members of our extended team, soon to be our coach partners. Thank you, everybody, for everything you've done. Look for emails with upcoming information about our webinar, which, like I said, it's going to be within the next 2 weeks, about the next step that you may be interested in taking with us. And in any case, whether you do or you do not decide to join us for that, I wish you only the best. Everything to have a fabulous, amazing, incredible life. And I know that somewhere we will connect again. Thank you, everybody. Have a fantastic evening. Good night for now.
Good night.